Ladies and gentlemen, wake your tails up. Yes, it is early in the morning. It's the Wait a Minute Show coming to y'all to get y'all ready for work, but also talk about this NBA All-Star Weekend. Got a lot to talk about, got a lot to cover, got a lot of opinions to get off my chest. So, without further ado, me, you, and Lopan this morning on your way to work. You know what I'm saying?
Know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Faro, Jaro.
Keep that shit 100 Ben Frank, you know what I'm saying? Want you shotgun, ride with me, you know what I'm saying? Walk around with words, money talk, you know what I'm saying? I say you my shout get what I got, you know what I'm saying? I'm something like a pizza, I got salt, you know what I'm saying? May I take you all I have served, you know what I'm saying? If you get to tripping, we Steph Curry, you know what I'm saying? I say I'm a dot, don't need a vet, you know what I'm saying? I really can rap, I'm like Christmas, you know what I'm saying? I'm rapping this gift, money riding like it need a lift. Keep that shit 100, mouth like jeans, how we keep them zipped. Headed for the top, now I DA to try to make it tip. I got all the sauces, you ain't bob if you ain't took a lot. I remember you were like a mommy, you ain't even talk. Now shit done change, now I got some chain, now I bought some chain, now you on the chain, no don't chain like fake gold. Green like that's gold. Don't fuck with you, don't ask you know. I might be blowing up C4, and I be going in front door. Keep that shit 100 Ben Frank, you know what I'm saying? Want you shotgun, ride with me, you know what I'm saying? Walk around with words, money talk, you know what I'm saying? I say you my shout get what I got, you know what I'm saying? I'm something like a pizza, I got salt, you know what I'm saying? May I take you all I have served, you know what I'm saying? If you get to tripping, we Steph Curry, you know what I'm saying? I say I'm a dot, don't need a vet, you know what I'm saying? Keep that shit 100 Ben Frank, you know what I'm saying? Want you shotgun, ride with me, you know what I'm saying? Walk around with words, money talk, you know what I'm saying? I say you my shelter, get what I got, you know what I'm saying? I really got balls like Verizon, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool and I'm high, take a get, I'm a ceiling fan. I march with them bands, a parade, you don't understand. I get in between the talking money, that's a middleman. I rap around money, plus I'm holding. Rubber band, 223 for the cal, Draco, Pakistan. The club make a square for my circle. Pac-Man, she gon' make me eat up her little circle, Mrs. Pac-Man. You know what I'm saying? I said, who got Skittles? Ain't talking money, LOA or Riddle. You nigga blowing noise, that's a fiddle. You nigga blowing noise, that's a fiddle. Keep that shit 100 Ben Frank, you know what I'm saying? Want you shotgun, ride with me, you know what I'm saying? Walk around with words, money talk, you know what I'm saying? I say you my shout get what I got, you know what I'm saying? I'm something like a pizza, I got salt, you know what I'm saying? May I take you all I have served, you know what I'm saying? If you get to tripping, we Steph Curry, you know what I'm saying? I say I'm a dot, don't need a vet, you know what I'm saying?
It's the Wait a Minute Show.
This is a podcast.
It's the Wait a Minute Show.
Hold up. Wait a minute, show. J.E. Bodie, that's my bro. Wait a minute, show. My man Pan is on the low. Wait a minute, show. J.E. Bodie, that's my bro. Wait a minute, show. My man Pan is on the low. Coming straight out of Flake, Michigan. JB Bodie is him again. 2 times Wednesday, Saturday. Show make you wanna sing Donny Hathaway. Facebook Live, Spreaker.com. It's the Wait a Minute Show, fan. Man, we drop bombs as we proceed. Just tune in, no need to take a feed. Hanging with the Stews. JB, that's my dude. And I don't mean to be rude, but these other shows lame like eating prunes. Facebook got you tweaking. Spreakers, eardrums bleeding. JB got what you need. My man Lopez saying yes indeed. Go to thewaitaminuteshow.com to follow all episodes.
Ladies and gentlemen, wait a minute, hold on, let me start. Blip, blip, blacka. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning to you. It's President's Day, I think, so some folks is going to be off today from work, and some of you will still be on your way to work like you normally are, but that's why I'm here this morning, to give you your sports morning fix. I'm not giving you the night fix today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get you and hit you early in the morning. We got me and some other guys that's going to be coming on later on. That's going to be hitting you in the head as well. So we'll get into that, a little bit later. But this is the Wait a Minute Show with your host, Jelani JB Bodie, and this clown of a co-host that, for some reason, people like. Lopan is in the building as well. Yes, Lopan is in the building, so we're glad to have you here. And actually, Lopan, surprisingly, flew back in on the red eye, got back from L.A. He was out during All-Star weekend. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that. Was I supposed to say that? Indeed. Oh, okay. All right. It was okay for me to say it. All right. Sometimes Lopan go places and, he don't want his business out there. But, I'm just like, if you out there in the streets where the camera's at, Lopan, then, there's a chance you're going to be seen, right? Indeed. Okay. So, hey, it is what it is. But Lopan is back. Glad he's in here in the mix with us. Today's show. Normally, we kind of throw it around to some other sports, but we're going to do pretty much almost all NBA today. We had a All-Star weekend, if you will, that went down. So we're going to cover some things that basically went down over All-Star weekend. Some of it got tied in that we did not, really want to happen. Some stuff good, some stuff, what was that? And question marks, just question marks. But overall, I think the All-Star weekend was a success, if you ask me. It wasn't, like, oh my gosh, like, how are we going to top, next year, but it wasn't as horrible as it had been in previous years. So I can accept that, and I basically, sat down and watched most of All-Star weekend and a lot of stuff that was going on, during the All-Star weekend. So it was very, very, very entertaining, to say the least. Again, we're going to get into some topics that I really wish I did not have to get into or did not have to touch, but it's out there. So I'm going to have to speak on it, and I will speak on it, but good things also, Basketball Hall of Fame, the finalists have been put out there, haven't been announced yet, but, we got a finalist, and it dates back to what I was talking about in a previous episode was that, hey, the NBA or basketball, I keep saying NBA because it's not the NBA Hall of Fame, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. Basketball Hall of Fame has changed their eligibility rules. So it used to be after 5 years you are eligible for the Hall of Fame. Now it's 3. So we're going to get our first, controversy, if you will, maybe, as far as like who can get in, first ballot. But we'll go over some of the people that is on that list as well. Adam Silver, he had his I guess you could call it State of the Union or State of the Franchise, State of the League, address over All-Star weekend. Some pretty interesting topics came up, that he discussed, which, and a side note, I really like Adam Silver, for the most part. He didn't come in and take over a league where he thought he had to put this footprint, he's following up David Stern, which is, trust me, it is not an easy job. But sometimes you can be a commissioner and you come in and you just like, you know what? I got to show him. I got to prove to him. I got to, be stern. I got to be tough. I got to be rough, and all this. And Adam Silver didn't come in that way. He basically, said, you know what? I'm going to do my thizzle, and this is how it's going to go down and we're going to be all right. So that's exactly what he did. So I think that was, a good selection by the NBA, probably by David Stern, I'm sure, because Adam Silver's been around a long time. But he had his press conference and he addressed some topics that I was concerned about or just had questions about. And I think it was, interesting, some of the points that he brought up. And like I said, since this is All-Star weekend, we had a bunch of stuff out there. The Rising Stars Challenge. We had the 3-point contest, the dunk contest, the skills competition, and of course, the big all of it all, the All-Star game that we had last night. So we're going to talk about that. And normally I do not talk about music for the most part on this show because it is a sports show. But I'm going to talk about a particular entertainer in the music industry that I think is worth bringing up today. And once we get to it, you'll know where I'm going, with it. But this entertainer was, pretty interesting, to say the least. Someone everybody knows. So you should know where I'm going with this. If you don't, you'll find out once when we get there. But let's first start off with, this is our NBA All-Star Weekend version of the Wait a Minute show with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. Co-host Lopan, he went to the bathroom, so he'll be back. But let's start off with the whole Kobe Shaq thing. So seems like TNT been running this thing, these face-to-face conversations, and we saw, the whole thing with Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, and how, things got, off track with them. They were the best of friends. They were great friends. And at some point it all went wrong, and these guys weren't interacting with each other. They had a beef is what we call it. And so they sit down, they talk, made up and everything. So this thing, that TNT is doing, they basically taking guys that not surprisingly, but guys that, had problems with each other, and they're going to sit down and talk it out, what happened, maybe share things that, nobody knew and everything. So they had the Kobe and Shaq face-to-face over this weekend, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I sat there, and pretty much watched the full episode that they had, on it. I think it was probably almost 40 minutes. And it didn't seem like it was 40 minutes when I was watching it. It went by pretty fast, But for those who don't know, obviously, Kobe and Shaq played on the Lakers. And it turned into what everyone was saying was, this whole power struggle. Who team was it? Who was going to stay? Who was going to go? Someone was going to have to leave. Why did they leave? They shot themselves in the foot because they could have won so many more titles, and all this stuff. But, where it started off, which was really interesting, was that, they started off with, being a child, kind of give you a foundation of where, this mentality came from, because Kobe is called the Black Mamba, and he has this ice cold, hitman, assassin, type character that he is on the court, and he wants to destroy you. And he talked, a little bit at length as far as like where that started. And he said, growing up in Italy, because his father played, basketball, and he played overseas. A lot of times he was the guy on the outside looking in because, one, he didn't look like them and he wasn't like them. He wasn't Italian or he wasn't from there. Maybe couldn't relate, as well as some of the other kids. And we know how kids are. They are brutally honest when it comes to, voicing their feelings or emotions or whatever, and sometimes they can be heartless themselves. But where Kobe said he got this was, hey, they treated me, like this off the court, but when we played basketball on the court, that was my revenge time. That was my time, to definitely, give them the business, basically, and let them know you're going to get this work, and it carried over, and I'm sure some of that maybe, happened when he got back to the States and he was in Philadelphia. You're over in another country. You speak in all these languages. And me and Kobe is pretty much the same age. We graduated the same